The biggest Christmas present this year for Manchester United fans would indeed be not climbing up that table, not winning 2 games in a row, but getting rid of the Glazers. I think would top trump every single Christmas wish for every single Manchester United fan this year. We're going to bring you that story from the Daily Mail and others on top of that about this consortium from the UAE, namely Dubai, apparently looking to put in a bid to take over the Glazers shares of Manchester United. All the details on that, what happened last night, where the story came from. I'm going to read through the article and then let you decide whether you think that this is genuine or not. There are already claims out there stating that this is fully genuine. We'll go through Turki Al-Sheikh's other tweet from last night also, which he came out and said was an advanced stage negotiation for Manchester United and a takeover for the Glazers and new owners at the football club. That's what he said last night. But he also did say it might not happen as well. We're going to go into the story in detail this morning and bring you completely up to date with all of that, alongside all of the transfer news. I did promise you last night I would read through the survey email sent by Manchester United. I've had it. I've taken part in it. I've done the survey. I'll tell you all the ins and outs of what the plans are, pricing for the new stadium. If I told you could get a box for $250,000 a season at Manchester United, would you believe me? I think most people would, going off the way that football prices have changed these days. More on that also in the show. Price set for Elliot Anderson also. Upper Mencano. Transfer news are coming, everybody. Get involved in the live chat. This is Forever United TV. I'm Adam. Good morning. The weekend is here, everybody. Friday. The internationals well and truly underway, and of course all countdown after this weekend is going to be towards that Liverpool game at weekend. But focus has been off the pitch recently and has been well and truly focusing on the ownership model of Manchester United. A few people have got excited. I've tried to keep it down the line and not get carried away with everything. It's hard not to get carried away as a United fan, heart on your sleeve United fan like I am. Just the sound of the Glazers leaving this football club is just music to my ears, and it gets me a little excited inside that one day, maybe one day, they will be gone from this football club. And I think that's what every single Manchester United fan wishes also on this. So where has this story come from that the Glazers might actually be willing to sell $5 billion for their shares in Manchester United? When you think about it, they are approximately 71 million majority shareholder in United. The 29 going to Ineos, who are obviously in the limelight at the moment and are running the football club. But the Glazers have always been the ones that every single Manchester United fan, well known to every single Manchester United fan, as the big reason for the decline of this football club. People will say and argue United have still spent money. Yes, we have. But people will also say, and quite rightly so, the drainage on this football club from that ownership and them American owners over there in Tampa has really hampered and anchored Manchester United. The story of a potential Dubai consortium takeover has pricked up a lot of ears around the Manchester United fan base. Something we just did not expect this week, in fact. I've pulled out the main piece and what I feel from the article, first of all, from the Daily Mail and Chris Wheeler. They were the first ones to report it when it broke after Turki Al-Sheikh's infamous tweets the other night as well. So, first of all, let's just go and take you back to last night. And this is pretty much what Turki Al-Sheikh said last night as we were live. He says, this was backing up his original tweet from the night before, where he says, the best news I have heard tonight is that there is a new investment deep in conversation and talks to take over Manchester United. This is what he said last night. My yesterday's post about Manchester United's potential sale meant one thing. The club is in advanced negotiations, in the negotiation phase with a new investor. Just to clarify, I am not the investor, nor are there anyone from my nation involved. I'm posting this as a fan who wishes the deal to happen, though it still might not happen. Well, that's pretty much what he said last night. There is claims that negotiations are advanced, is what Turki Al-Sheikh says. And this is a report from the Daily Mail now off the back of that second tweet. The Daily Mail Sports was the first to report the news in the early hours of Thursday after Al-Sheikh wrote, the best news I've heard today is that Manchester United is now an advanced stage for completing a deal to sell to a new investor. I hope he's better than the previous owner. Yeah, okay. That's what they're saying there from that original tweet. Al-Sheikh's claim has credence because he is the head of the General Entertainment Authority responsible for bringing some of the world's highest profile sports events to Saudi Arabia, and is understood to be in talks with United over playing there during their Riyadh season, which officially starts on Friday and runs until March. However, the comments caught United by surprise, and Old Trafford insiders said Thursday that they don't know where the information has come from. And once again, I backed this up yesterday by saying that, yeah, you are going to go straight to Manchester United in England, based in England, Manchester United. Like Sir Jim Ratcliffe says, the ownership model and insiders at Manchester United with their feet on the ground, quote unquote, from Sir Jim Ratcliffe in that interview with the Times the other day. But nobody in their whole time of owning Manchester United, 2 decades worth, have ever been able to get any inside information about the Glazers. So I made this claim yesterday. United taken by surprise about this offer coming in and not knowing enough. Well, nobody has ever known about the Glazers and what their business is. And if they wanted to look at other investment and selling their shares with nobody knowing, they can do so. And we wouldn't know about it. So that was my stance from United's response to this. Taken by surprise and unaware. Doesn't matter. If the Glazers want to sell, they're not going to tell us. It's just going to get dropped on us like a bomb. Well, not a bomb, actually. It's just going to be dropped on us, and we will celebrate, and there'll be carnivals in the streets. Never mind the bomb, anyway. Right. Turki Al-Sheikh's claims is that no one from Saudi Arabia, we've had it confirmed by Ben Jacobs as well, that there's no one in Qatar. So we talked last night about the UAE consortium, and it pretty much came down to the potential Dubai consortium interest in Manchester United. And this is the bit that gets interesting now in the Daily Mail from what they said anyway. The facts, the consortium's plans are still at an early stage with no guarantee it will develop into a formal bid. It's understood the group in the UAE are UAE-based, but key figures are not from Saudi or neighbouring Qatar. Al-Sheikh posted another message on Thursday night saying that tweet that he said about going over what he said the previous night. There is advanced stages. So Jim Ratcliffe fended off a rival bid from Qatar consortium headed by Sheikh Jassim when he bought his 27.7% in the Glazers' $1.3 billion minority takeover in February of last year. The deal included a drag-along clause that took effect this August, enabling the Americans to open talks with potential investors without Radcliffe's knowledge and force him to sell his shares. Now, this was the bit that came last night also on this. They're the facts. They're the only facts that we've got right now. The drag-on clause has ended. Now the Glazers can talk to whoever they want. And all of a sudden, we've got this news coming from Turki Al-Sheikh. Like I just said, they don't need to tell anybody. And let's be honest, they're never going to tell anybody either. So no one at Manchester United is going to know about this. They just have to deal with it. And that will force the Glazers, it will force Ineos to sell theirs, but they do have an option to match whoever else comes in and bids for the Glazers shares. So Ineos could get full takeover if this happened. Now, if you put this all together, then the Ineos might have been prepared for this. They're looking at building a new stadium and looking to invest and get all of this work done with their minority stake in Manchester United, which is minority compared to the Glazers. You're kind of thinking like this is a lot of work and a lot of investment and a lot of tidying up the Glazers' mess for them to just come in and go, whoosh, there you go, we sold it under you. Everything that you've done, thank you, but you're out. There has to be some part of Ineos in this that are thinking that this might have happened after this drag-on clause that the Daily Mail are reporting this morning. There has to be some part of Ineos that are thinking the Glazers might be thinking about this. So this is where it continues in. Are Ineos involved in this? It's all conspiracy theories and everything like that, and everybody's guessing at the moment. But the facts are the Glazers can sell and they don't need to tell anybody about it. They can do whatever they want. The only clause in this is that drag-on clause. Ineos will be sold from under themselves if the Glazers want. But in that negotiation, in that clause, there is a rule where they can also match any bid that comes in if they want to buy out the Glazers. So we will see what happens with this from the Ineos side of things. Right, just to go into everything else as well on this, there's a load of mumbo jumbo in the article, and you can probably read the article yourself. But when you look at the Dubai consortium situation, there is also Manchester United legends being asked to invest into Manchester United apparently as well, and then act as ambassadors for the football club. Really don't give a toss about that stuff, to be honest. I just want a capable owner who is going to clear the debt and help Manchester United run profitably. If it is Ineos who buy out the Glazers, then it's Ineos. At least we know who they are. At least we know what they're about, and at least we know what the plans are for the club going forward. I think right now, if I asked the live chat, actually, would you take Ineos on their own over the Glazers? Would you accept that? I think a lot of people would accept that the Ineos on their own and no Glazers is better than what we've got right now, with the Glazers at all involved. Them buying out the Glazers would definitely put them up there in higher standing, I think, with the United fan base. I could say that. I'm jumping the gun a little bit there. Get into the comment section and let me know on that. But just to round up what was said around the Dubai consortium, so you're completely in the know. The Daily Mail are trying to claim that it isn't in the advanced stages like Turkey Al-Sheikh claims it is. It is at the early stages. It is genuine. There is a consortium looking to bid for Manchester United. So it's not like it's completely dead or completely flattened by this news from the Daily Mail. Expect more news to come out throughout the day is what I say with this one. And I do believe that there will be bigger updates to come later on, maybe even through the weekend. But the Daily Mail's claim is it's not as advanced as Turkey Al-Sheikh claims in his tweets, but there is definite interest in buying out the Glazers, and therefore will also buy out Ineos as well. Now, the sort of discrepancy there in everything that we're saying is the Glazers 71% shares, let's just say. Are they accepting $5 billion for that? Or is it $5 billion for the club? As it is right now. Let's not forget that the Glazers still hold all of the rights to everything. If they want to sell Manchester United for $5 billion now, then it just seems a bit strange, doesn't it? Considering they didn't accept that bid apparently, or when it was on the table. Although, again, you could come back and argue with me, it was proved that the Qatari bid wasn't real in the end either. So, really, $5 billion for the Glazers, is that just their shares, or is that for the whole club? Therefore, Ineos have to sell, because the Glazers are still the majority shareholders, and they haven't got a say in this. All Ineos could do is match whatever bid comes in from somebody coming in from the outside now, and they would own the whole of Manchester United. And it would be Ineos everything. That's where we're at right now. So that's, I think, what you've got to decide from that article and what looking into it, the facts, and it's not speculation. There is genuine interest in Manchester United. This is what everyone is reporting now. There are people coming together that are looking to build a bid to buy the Glazers out of Manchester United, therefore forcing Ineos as well out of Manchester United. I think this could be to maybe force Ineos into making an extra bid, match or better, whatever comes in, so they can buy all of Manchester United, because I cannot see Ineos standing there after 18, nearly 2 years, and all the work that they have put in, allowing this to happen. I reckon the money is there, and Ineos are preparing to take over Manchester United. There is no way that Sir Jim Ratcliffe comes in for this amount of time, does what he's going to do, and then walks away. I've just had a survey, which I'm going to be bringing to you in a minute in this video, later on in this video, about the future of this football club and moving forward, with them at the forefront of building a new stadium for Manchester United, which is going to be the best in the world. How are you going to walk away from that now? It just doesn't make sense to me. So the whole Dubai thing, I think, is genuine. I would say at this point that just don't count out Ineos. That's all I'm saying. Like, it's not like this is what I want. I want Ineos in. Hey, look, I don't know who the Dubai consortium is or who the UAE consortium is. They might not be good for Manchester United. You just don't know. But what I am saying here is the facts are there on the table. Ineos are allowed to match or better any bid that comes in from the outside right now. That's what we're dealing with. I think they are still players in this. You could go down the full-on conspiracy road here as well, and the Ineos know about this. And this is their way in to take over full power of Manchester United. Why would you start employing people at academy level at Carrington with new CEO, new sporting director roles coming in that we have been talking about this week? Why are you employing all of these people, building infrastructure, spending money on Carrington for you to be completely taken out? It makes absolutely no sense at all. New plans for an academy, Carrington base now as well, and a new development there for that. Come on. You see where I'm going with this, don't you? For me, I cannot see them allowing this to happen. To happen. I don't think Ineos are out of this. There's no way that they let what they've done just be bought out by somebody else. Let's not forget how powerful Sir Jim Ratcliffe actually is. He can't spend money at the moment because he doesn't have full power. He can't spend money at the moment because of financial fair play and PSR, but he can invest. Like, all of a sudden, within the space of 2 years, we've got a new Carrington. We've got plans for a new academy Carrington. We've also got a new stadium plan in place where they're surveying fans. It just makes no sense to me. Anyway, moving on. Let's get some comments in on this, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Get your thoughts in on this. Can you count out Ineos from being sole owners of Manchester United? That's my big question on this right now. Do you see my angle on this? The Dubai Consortium is genuine, but it isn't as advanced as what Turki Al-Sheikh is saying is the story this morning. But they still have the chance, Ineos that is, to buy out the Glazers if they are willing to sell. If someone else comes in, the Glazers may force Ineos' hand. And we've said all along, Ineos are selling up other sporting enterprises, they're cutting costs and everything else that they're doing. Maybe there is a play here to take full control of United. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Chat's in. Anyway, time for them to put the money on the table. Who's putting that money on the table, though, buddy? Is it Ineos? Is it the Glazers? Is it the consortium from the UAE? Stephen Brown, welcome to the Members Club. Tom has also gifted a membership as well. Robbie says, no smoke without fire. This story is genuine. He also goes in to say, I would take Ineos over the Glazers. Would you take full Ineos over the Glazers and Ineos? That's a big, big question, that one. Because not many people have been impressed by Ineos so far. Well, then again, in 2 years, like I said, look at what has happened. Everything that we've been crying out for is being put in place. We got rid of the executive section in the Stretford end. We've put safe standing now going all the way across the Stretford end. We're bringing the atmosphere back to Old Trafford. We have upgraded Old Trafford in the tunnel area. There's a brand new training ground now at Carrington. We've been crying out for years. It's been embarrassing for this football club. We're spending over 200 million a year on transfers in the transfer markets while Ineos have been in situ. We're close to already $500 million in transfers in 2 seasons. Is that enough for you, or are you looking at Ineos and the cuts and everything else? I always said give Ineos 3 years and see where this club is at, and I'll stand by that always. But there is still a lot of work going on behind the scenes that people are ignoring as well, which I think is better for this football club. A full Ineos, I wouldn't have a problem with owning Manchester United, is my point at the moment from what I'm seeing. If we carry on this way, obviously results need to change on certain decisions people are looking at regarding moving Amorim, football side of things. Yeah, maybe. There's so much to get into with what Ineos have done so far, but give me your thoughts on that, everyone. Glenn says, is it possible for someone to buy the Glazers shares only, or is it all or nothing? It will probably be all or nothing from what I have read. I'm not claiming to be any shareholder experts or stock market expert or anything like this, Glenn, but from what I have read, the Glazers would sell the whole club, including Ineos' shares, but Ineos can then come back and make their bid for whole ownership of Manchester United. That's what that dragon clause was. The Glazers could not sell from underneath Ineos for this period of time that they have been in. So they have built in their infrastructure and done everything they have in such a short space of time. It makes you wonder why they've rushed everything through so much and got on with it, knowing that they don't have full power. It's strange, isn't it? But no, as far as I am concerned, and there will be other people in the know on this, and people who know a lot more about the finances and stuff like this, but from what I've read, like I said, Glenn, it is full sell. 100% of Manchester United if someone comes in, which will force Ineos also. They could take that value and take their own money out, which I don't see them doing, or they come back with their own and match this bid, what's coming in. I personally feel Ineos would match the bid and find a way to buy Manchester United complete ownership. That's what I see anyway. Let's get some more comments on this. I'm just going to scroll up and stop randomly. Sean says, I would take anything over the Glazers. Surprised that you asked that, Adam. No, but some people, honestly, the backlash that I've had, Sean, off the Ineos, what people say to me and what I am with Ineos in terms of an Ineos fanboy and things like this. Like, I've had serious backlash from Manchester United fans on socials about my views on them owning Manchester United and what good they've actually done for the club. Look, everybody's stance with Ineos has been, you got in bed with the Glazers. So, if Ineos ridded us of the Glazers, would that change everybody's perspective? Would that change everybody's view of Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe? He's the man that got rid of the Glazers. 2 decades worth of crippling debt on this football club with no personal investment. Sir Jim comes in, puts in 300 million of his own money and then gets rid of them within 2 to 3 years. I think he's getting close to hero status, isn't he, at that point? And still the people that don't like it. Ineos have done a bare minimum. Have they really in that space of time, Mo? Really? A bare minimum? 300 million? It's like the most investment from anybody ever in the history of this football club. Changed Carrington, changed Old Trafford, looking to build a new stadium. I don't think it's bare minimum, to be honest. I really don't. Club dropping hints that we aren't buying in January, while rumours are that we are trying to buy a major midfielder target in January. The club haven't really put anything out about not buying in January, to be honest, Glenn, that I have seen. Glenn says, Glenn's talking to someone else there. Ineos equals more debt, club not owning the stadium. The stadium would pay for itself, Compost, mate. We know this. You look at Arsenal, it's paid for itself already. This is what you get when you get a proper run football club and a stadium that's going to house absolutely everything. I'll get into details on this. I'll never forget the kids' £67 tickets. That was one that was, again, ill-advised by Ineos on this situation. It just depends, doesn't it, really, like how many of them tickets were available. And I'm not backing Ineos on that one. I agree with what you said there, like, the ticketing price is what they did for that scheme that they put in last season, where the tickets that were being sent back by members that were original prices were bumped up to stupid amounts of money. Trust me on this one. I've seen people send back tickets that were worth 67 quid and been sold as an executive seat for £400 by Ineos this season and last season. There'll be plenty of people in here that know that their tickets have been sold for absolute fortunes because they've added something to it. They've given experience on that ticket and they've absolutely rinsed as much money possible out of it. This is what businessmen like Sir Jim Ratcliffe do. They absolutely drain every penny out of what they can to make as much. They maximise everything. Got to say that if it's a rumour, then there is a reason for this rumour, big or small. This info was released for a reason. Look, for it all, like I said in the breakdown, it is genuine. There is real interest. We have got people in significant places now talking about this. The only ones that haven't really come out and said anything, like we said last night, are the likes of David Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano. We will see if anything comes about. But like we said, even David Ornstein hasn't got access to the Glazers. And this is a different world here right now. We're talking about the Glazers selling Manchester United. So we're not going to hear much about it. The other side of the pond and that reach has too much for anybody based here in England. Yes, you can go out and try and find out some stuff and find out as much information as you want, but you're not going to get it. It's been tried before. And at this point, this serious topic of selling Manchester United, do you think they're going to give anything away? Not a chance. We paid the same price for Agate as PSG paid for João Neves, Ineos. No, we didn't, Noel, did we? Because João Neves was a lot more than Agate. I don't know where you got that idea from. I mean, basically, I think what you're saying there is we paid for Agate and that gave them the room and financial freedom to go and buy Neves, I think is what you're supposed to say on that one, wasn't it, mate? Because they definitely didn't pay the same price. Sorry, Ineos fail in sports. They messed up the F1 team. None of their football teams progress. Only the boat team, who no one gives an F about, is doing somewhat well. Yeah, but when you look at them, like, they're not Manchester United. Like, you're in complete different scenarios there. Manchester United is the biggest club in the world already. If you put a business and structure on top of it that knows how to run, then United should take care of itself. It doesn't matter who owns it. All you've got to do is put the right people in place. This is simple. This is like, at the moment, this is like putting the best, let's say, for instance, Formula One. You've got the best car, the best setup, everything. That's like putting into that the worst driver, the most inexperienced driver, and you won't get as much out. You put the best driver into the best car, you're going to get the better results. Manchester United runs itself. It is an absolute money-making machine. And you put right people in to maximise that, while putting the right people in to run the football side of things. It is impossible to get it wrong. Impossible to get it wrong at this football club. So that's all we've got to do. We don't really need a mastermind coming in to take over Manchester United. We just need someone who's going to come in and put the right people in place to run a club that should run itself, with the marketing side of things that we have got, and the pull and law of Manchester United. It's there for somebody to take over and just smash to pieces. And if United get it right, they will destroy everybody. And everyone knows this. Brian says, best international break ever. He's definitely added an excitement level to the international break, hasn't it? By the way, I wanted to ask the question. I might have missed it in some of the live chat, actually. And do get your comments in if you're watching later on as well. Anyone interested in any ambassadorial role or investment from Manchester United legends? Could not care one bit is my stance on this. I don't want the likes of Gary Neville being involved. And look, there are sensible people. I'm not saying Gary Neville's not a shrewd businessman or anything like that, but let's just leave the running of this football club to people who know what they're doing, and let's leave the former players where they should be. Ambassadorial roles and doing bits here and there for the club, no problem, but no investment. Let's leave that. We don't need that. Let's just get someone in who has got enough money to buy Manchester United out and let them run the club the way it should be run. I like the model that Ineos are building. I'm going to admit that. I like what they're doing. I like the people they're bringing in. I like the way that they're concentrating on the football side of things. I do. If there was no debt and Ineos were running Manchester United, my God, we would be absolutely head and shoulders above everybody else. That's my belief anyway, and you can shoot me down on that if you want. Messed up the F1 team. They won 8 championships with Merck. The F1 thing is BS talked by people who don't watch it. I can see some Formula 1 fans creeping in to the chat right now. Again, like, you can look at the headlines of Ineos and drive that whole agenda. And I'm not saying that you're wrong in what you're doing with that. You're not. Like, that is there and it's been well publicised. But let's not forget as well in this, they do have a big success resume, don't they, in business. He's not one of the richest men in the country for failing. So there is success in there somewhere. There is ways around it. So let's just look at it that way, is what I say. More comments coming in. Robbie says, I think the Glazers would have sold if Qatar had provided proof of funds to the New York Stock Exchange authorities. There was never anything, and this was the problem with that bid. It was a ghost bid. As much as people want to believe it was there and we missed the chance, it was never there. Factually, never there. And you can look this up as well. There is nothing official, and it has to be official on paper. That bid did not happen. It was only really outside investments, hedge funds, things like this, and Ineos with their majority play. Maybe the Glazers did want out of Manchester United, but Ineos were the only one coming forward with any kind of funds for them to take something away from the football club. Obviously, they wanted to make a profit because the Glazers are businessmen also. Why don't you bid for United, Adam, with all your money, pal? Yeah, okay. Trust me, on this one right now, Manchester United and that survey, by the way, that's, wow. they sent a survey out to every season's ticket holder at Manchester United. They've sorted everything out within the stadium. They sent the survey. It took me ages to get through it. So many questions. But Manchester United and their pricing set up for the new season. Trust me on this one. There are some boxes that are going to be for sale for the season that you can buy for near £250,000 for the season. £250,000 for a box at Manchester United. So don't get me wrong, that's not all of them. There is different pricing ranges. And from what I've seen from the survey, the prices for all of the seats some are very, very expensive. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say that just to try and defend the approach of the new stadium, because I'm all for the new stadium, that the prices are affordable. Some are extortionate. Some are absolutely ludicrous. But some are affordable. And there's enough seats in that stadium. And what their claim is that there is enough to house the standard seating prices. Yes, you're going to be paying, between 45 and 65 to 70 quid a ticket to go and watch Manchester United. I think that's basically where it's going to be. From what I've read anyway, they're asking about everything that you would like within the stadium, what you want it to be. They are going for a full-on best-in-class style. Questions on casinos, 5- and 6-star hotels, fine dining, bars, shopping, multi-sports and multi-event stadium. Also, experiences to go with the stadium as well. They are following kind of the Real Madrid blueprint in making an absolute fortune out of this stadium. And they will do it with what they're talking about. The prices, United will fill out this 100,000-seater stadium, and they'll fill all of the boxes. They'll fill every single executive section. They'll fill all of the VIPs, hospitality for megastars and whatnot. It will be something that you see from America when you've got all of the famous people sat in these big comfy seats and group seating sections halfway up the stand on the halfway line. Like, it is going to be something spectacular. It is. And the plans are there. You see it in this survey and what they're thinking and how they're doing it. But, yeah, there is some very, very steep prices at certain sections of that stadium. But then some normal sort of prices as well. And the whole sort of seat licensing thing that they were talking about, that is something that they are thinking of doing. It's not obligatory either. In America, there are seat licensing systems that put in place and you have to stand by it or you lose your seat. So, for instance, you're a season ticket holder and you don't take that license for the new stadium, then your seat becomes available to somebody else. You lose it. And that is not being brought in as a definite. That's what they've said in this email as well. Whereas in other countries, things like this are actually used and you are held by it as well. So, that isn't coming through anyway. But anyone who's a season ticket holder would have had this email. Everyone's email is different, by the way, to what your seat actually is at the moment, where you sit, how much you pay. There is loads of different options. They're asking a million questions. They are doing it right. I'll say that. So they're making sure that everybody's having a say and everybody's giving their thoughts on this. It is extensive. It is so long, the survey. It took me ages to finish it off. But as a season ticket holder, I feel like it's right to give my thoughts on this. So that is in and that email is out now. There are some crazy, crazy stories going around about prices. From the email, I have seen the prices that are available to me. And I will say, yep, more than what it is at Old Trafford. It is going to be more than what it is. I'm not going to beat around the bush and try and defend what is there. It's going to be more expensive to go to Old Trafford than what the basic baseline was. Sorry, it's more expensive to go to the new stadium than it was Old Trafford compared to what you're paying now for the basic line. But let's not forget, in 4 years' time when the stadium is built, inflation will be at a certain level also. And I think the pricing is based around the future and projections of where it's going to be at that time. I can only guess at that, by the way. That's not a definite either. But, yes, some eye-watering stuff in there anyway. All right, more comments in. Everyone, talk to me about the ownership situation and, of course, that new stadium survey which is coming. I will be filling out the survey later, Adam, so better grab myself a cuppa if that takes that long. Yeah, get yourself a coffee and read it properly. It's not like they're holding you to anything, by the way. It is completely just an open survey that they're gauging. They're not going to hold you to what you say. I think they make that clear in the email as well. Carrington is still not finished. The youth teams are in the temporary accommodation and having to ask Everton for spare kit. Philip, you've gone down the road of the situation there that the Athletic have put in. I've been to Carrington. They're not in temporary accommodation. They do have a academy section for the... they do have a section there at Carrington for the academy. There is one for the women and there is the new one for the men. So they don't have temporary accommodation at all. I've been in the actual complex myself and I can tell you that is crap. The story about the kits was down to the staff shortage, oversight on Manchester United, and I think the Athletic in that story did state that. It is a disgrace. You're right, Philip. That should never happen and that is massive embarrassment, but it isn't all built out to what it is supposed to be in them articles. Again, Sir Jim Ratcliffe cutting and Ineos cutting the staff, I think is the reason why we didn't have the socks available in that academy game. It's a disgrace, but they need to get on top of that. I guarantee it won't happen again, especially after the Athletic reporting it anyway. 100%. Glenn says, there was rumours one of the biggest issues was the same reason Ineos only ended up with 25%. Nobody wanted to give the Haulers Class A shares at £33 a dollar. Worthless. The Class A shares compared to Class B shares, that's when you start getting into that whole financial world. Look, they will sell if the right price comes in. That's the word. But we're still not at that point yet, is what the Daily Mail are saying. It is early days, and the consortium coming together. It sounds like if there's need for a consortium, it's a few people coming together, obviously. This is going to be something... It's not like Saudi takeover or the City Abu Dhabi takeover. It seems like these are people that know they've got enough money to buy out Ineos and the Glazers, and they will probably make money off Manchester United because it is, like I said, it's simple enough to run Manchester United because it's so successful, it's so big and well known. If you just put the right structure in there, it will run itself forever and a day. And if you get the new stadium in place, yeah, Manchester United will be worth an absolute fortune. The fact that we're in our worst period ever and still, I think, the fourth most expensive and valuable football club on the planet, that tells you a lot. If United get back into the Champions League, we'll be number one straight away. That's what will happen with Manchester United. That's the target. I bet United have 100,000 on a waiting list for season tickets easily. United will sell this stadium out like that. They will sell all of the boxes. They will sell every single corporate. They will sell everything. And what they are good at is marketing. And it will be done, gone, finished. I'm telling you right now, that stadium will be packed. What they need to bring is a brand of football to that stadium to make it worth everybody's while, make it worth the value of them tickets. And we've had a poll running throughout as well, everybody. We've had some 1,400 votes on this already. Do you believe there could be real truth to the investment rumours? 56% of you have said yes. Quite rightly, 44% are taking a backward step on that one as well, because it does sound too good to believe, doesn't it? It really does. So when you look at it, I look at... I've just seen a tweet that was sent to me. It's a funny one, actually. But it just put me off a little bit there about Dello. Ineos didn't get us to 15th. 10 years of utter garbage recruitment and academy neglect did that. Ole and Erik ten Hag just papered over the cracks with boring and mega defensive approaches. No, Ineos didn't take Manchester United to where they are now. They have to take Manchester United out of where they are right now, and that's what people are looking at. Robbie says, the super chat, sounds like an investment company from Dubai. We can guess at the moment, can't we? I think that's where we're at. And just to go over it again, it is genuine. Some are saying advanced, Some are saying early stages, and some are saying, obviously, now that dragon clause is gone, this is why we are hearing these stories about someone coming in and buying out the Glazers, which will automatically force Ineos's hand to also make a bid for the outright ownership of Manchester United, which might be what they want. Congratulations on 100,000 subs. I want to buy an OK jerseys for you to give away. Can we do this, please? Look, you don't need to. Neeks, you've already done enough there, mate. We will be doing giveaways in the Liverpool watch-along next Sunday, Neeks. So I'm going to put your name on top of that giveaway. In fact, I will sort that all out, mate. You don't need to do anything else. Don't even worry about that. We are going to be doing a giveaway, but we'll make it in the name of the super chatters that have come in. So we're going to be doing it to everyone involved in that watch-along come Liverpool. We'll try and give away. Do you know what? We're going to make something of this to try. Well, I don't want to tempt fate, but just to cheer everyone up. It sounds like I'm already accepting that we're going to lose the game, doesn't it? More on that coming. In the build-up to the Liverpool game. But, Neeks, thank you for the super chat. You don't need to do anything else. I'll deal with everything from there, mate. Appreciate that, buddy. Imagine the well celebrations when the Glazers and Ineos are gone. I don't think Ineos are going. That is my whole look on this. Now, whichever way I look at it, whatever I read, whatever I listen to, no one's convincing me that Ineos are going. And I'm not just saying that because I've backed them in certain things that they've done. And everyone thinks they've got this agenda where Ineos are great. I don't think they're perfect at all. I think they're better than the Glazers. That's all I'm going to say. They are better than the Glazers. I just look at it, and there is not a chance on this earth that they are letting all of their work just be completely bought from under them. No way. Because someone else coming in can just tell Ineos that that's it, you're out. See you later. They have to put their money in. If someone else comes in with a bid. Facts. That's it. Absolute facts on that one. Also, by the way, everybody, talking about money and getting this subscriber base here on Forever United TV in the money as well. Make sure you can scan that QR code on your screen right now. Our matchday sponsors, Match Bingos, are offering absolute mega deals right now on the game itself. Match Bingo, dead easy to play. It's just like playing bingo, but playing it without numbers and someone reading it out in the bingo hall with match events. Goals go in. If you've got that goal at a certain minute or a left-footed goal on your card, it gets crossed off. Like in bingo, you get a line, you get 25 quid. Another line, 25 quid. Bonuses in them games of up to two £300 winnings for £2 a card. Now, if you download the app, create your account all completely free, then deposit £10, put in the promo code section FUTV, all capitals, that deposit will be boosted by 100% straight out, everybody. So get in there. If you haven't used that promo code yet, get on it now. Use the promo code FUTV and be boosted by 100%. And like I said, only £2 a card. And if you buy 4 cards now, you get an extra one free as well. So for £8, being with a chance of potentially winning up to 300 quid. That's the game at the moment. And loads of people have won in the chat. So get on that. We'll drop the live. We'll drop the link into the live chat as well, everybody. So, yeah, make sure that you do give yourselves a chance of getting in on that game, especially for the Liverpool one. We're going to be doing loads on that game. We're going to be doing shirt giveaways. We're going to be doing the match bingo as we go through the game as well. So, let's do it. Sanil with a super chat says, these same reports said Qatar takeover 2 years ago. No, they didn't, Sanil. The Qatar one was everybody guessing. They were all reporting what was happening, but the thing with this one is you won't get Turkey Al-Sheikh coming out of a tweet unless there is something happening. He has also said that it might not happen. So take that as well. And then you've got the Daily Mail also reporting on top of this saying it's not as advanced, trying to shoot it down a little bit, but not being able to because there is something genuinely there. And there is interest in taking over Manchester United. The whole story overall is that there is interest and there could potentially be someone taking over Manchester United. Just take that as the big positive right now. Just the fact that it's being spoken about is a massive positive. Let's hope the buyout happens this time, says Stephen, with his renewed membership. Adam in Glazers Out says the goal protocol on his membership renewal as well. Thank you for that. Cheers for all of them comments and super chats already in the show, everybody. A bit of transfer news just to get through as well, everyone. We're going to get into that right now. Kaz just said, I've just started this feeling that we will beat Liverpool. We're beating Liverpool, are we? Do you know what? If we beat Liverpool, I'll give 10 shirts away if Man United beat Liverpool. That's what I'll do. I'll do 10 replica kits if United beat Liverpool. Guaranteed. It'll happen. Right, the transfer news and what is happening. Elliot Anderson, 70 million price tag set for him. Newcastle looking to buy him back, apparently, alongside Manchester United. That is the interest right now in Elliot Anderson. Obviously, there is the speculation about United potentially going for a midfielder in January. All I will say on the Elliot Anderson situation, Carlos Baleba situation, I think there's better chance of Carlos Baleba happening in January than Elliot Anderson. But nobody's really convinced about Carlos Baleba at the moment because his form is so off after having his head turned by Manchester United. So, again, this is the situation we're in with transfers. Look, we are interested in several midfielders. Elliot Anderson is definitely one of them players. He's around about 70 million. Would you pay 70 for Elliot Anderson, everybody? Get into the chat right now and let me know. Ant says... hey, from hot, sunny Turkey, don't miss me too much, says Ant. We won't, mate. Hopefully by the time you get back, you're back in time for the Liverpool game and we'll all be celebrating next Sunday. Hope that's the case anyway. But yeah, please do get... have a good holiday, mate. And then we'll see you next week as well, pal. But would anyone pay 70 million for Elliot Anderson? Just get into the live chat now. I just want to gauge this quickly. Just simple yeses and nos, please. I'm torn on the stadium because it's so run down and can probably only be expanded rather than refurbished. Maybe there's a compromise plan without having to move sites. We're not really moving sites. It's staying in the same place, really. Just 100 yards across the car park. Let's see what we got. Arsenal, Anderson is class. No, you won't pay 70 million. Yes, you would pay. No, I can't afford 70 million. You have to pay up for Anderson. Didn't Forest only pay 35 mil for this from him this season? It was last season, 2024. So he's going to have been at Nottingham Forest for 2 years this summer. 2 years at Nottingham Forest now. And they paid about 35 million for him. Yes, they did, mate. Nobody is paying 70 million for Elliot Anderson, it would seem. Plenty of no's in the chat right now. Don't know what that is. You've got to pay the best for the best. Elliot Anderson now, again, is cheaper than what Carlos Baleba is going to be. And I said this before. I would take Anderson over Baleba right now, going off how they're playing. So, realistically, when you look at it... again, it's what United can afford. They're not going to go and pay over 100 million for Baleba. I think that's clear. 70 is about their mark. And that's why I think Elliot Anderson probably coming into the picture for United. Obviously, you've got other players that we might be going for as well. Nothing more on Adam Wharton. Manchester United have been linked by Bild over in Germany on a free transfer for Upamecano when his contract ends at the end of the season. That could come into play for United as another centre-back. But then again, like we said last night, there is them stories and rumours going around about Harry Maguire getting a new contract. Fabrizio Romano saying that United are going to be giving Harry Maguire a new contract. It's not what Man United fans wanted to hear, definitely. And I'm with that as well. We said this last night, but United are on the lookout for centre-backs as well. Upamecano, I don't really rate. I'm going to be honest. I don't rate him. I've seen this guy really flounder in several games. And I think even against Manchester United, he was poor a couple of seasons back in the Champions League. I thought he was their weak link. But look, we'll see. The Harry Maguire one is still the more prominent story going around right now. And that is a definite. Harry Maguire will be staying at Manchester United by the sounds of it. Adam Morton, Palace, Mark Gehey, Palace must sign players. Old Trafford line up immediately, says Smith. I would buy both of them players like that. I would go and put 130 million down on the table right now and give me Adam Morton and Mark Gehey. Although Mark Gehey's going to be on a free transfer now. In fact, would you blow... No, it's a silly question, actually. No, I'll ask it anyway. Would you go and spend some of your midfield money on Mark Gehey this January? I want Gehey, but we're not too bad in defence. We need midfielders. The priority is midfield, and I feel it will just take United away from looking at any centre-back. I don't see it happening. Hi Adam, Anderson would rather go to Newcastle than United as he knows the club and knows Eddie Howe well. Yeah, but they sold him, mate. And I don't believe in stories like that. Players will always want to be part of something aside from what they've already known. They never go back. I mean, why would you go back to Newcastle? You know you're not going to be guaranteed a place in that team. Again, it all comes down to, when you look at it, if United get into Europe and United can compete with Newcastle in offering European football next summer. Let's not forget, Newcastle are below United in the league right now. They've got to get going to get back into European football as well this season. So if you're offering Elliot Anderson European football on the same level as Newcastle, but a guaranteed place in the side, because Elliot Anderson's going to go some to get in ahead of Tonali, Joe Linton and Bruno Guimaraes at Newcastle, I don't think he's a guaranteed starter at Newcastle, which is why he went to Forest anyway. Same scenario. Them three players were there and he wasn't getting in. And now he's found his place in the team at Nottingham Forest. He's got internationals for Nottingham Forest. Is he going to be guaranteed that playing at Newcastle? I just look at it and say, Elliot Anderson, if you're looking at Manchester United, it's more appealing because you're guaranteed to be in that starting lineup. And that, I think, is what will clinch it for United. But on top of that, I will add, I think it will only come if United will be able to push that if they've got European football. That makes a massive difference. Ricky Hatton's funeral is today, says David. Yeah, I'm at a wedding this afternoon as well. It's a busy old day in Manchester. I'm not saying that the wedding's more important than the funeral. R.I.P. Ricky Hatton. I actually heard this on the radio the other day, actually, that it was today. And people talking about it. That is a star-studded guest list for Ricky Hatton's funeral today. Still gutting that actually happened a few weeks ago when it did. Anderson would walk into United's midfield. Are you joking me, mate? He would walk in. They would carry him in. They would give him a guard of honour into that midfield just to get somebody in there. There's a guarantee, mate, that he would walk into Man United's midfield. All right, just to go over the top stories again. Manchester United... and this Dubai consortium involving some former Manchester United players apparently. The Daily Mail are saying that this is genuine, but it's still in its early stages. There's no guarantees. Turki Al-Sheikh's tweet last night said there is definitely a bid going in and talks are advanced in a takeover investment into Manchester United. It's not from Saudi, it's not from Qatar. We know it's the UAE. We know it's narrowing down to a Dubai consortium now, so the investigations from all of the journalists and everybody else are leading us down this pathway now. We're further down the line. I expect more updates later on, but there is genuine interest in Manchester United and a takeover. This indeed then would force Ineos to move for Manchester United as well. They would have to counter any bid that came in. If the Glazers got an offer of $5 billion, for instance, and they were out, Ineos would have to pay $5 million. They would have to match that bid coming in. There's nothing they can do about it now. Now that their drag-on clause has ended, Ineos are out there in the open. The Glazers can sell this football club from under their feet, no problem. Again, I backed it up and just said that I just don't see Ineos doing the amount of work that they've done, knowing that this was there and could happen without a plan. I don't see Ineos leaving Manchester United. I could see the Glazers going in time. I just don't see a world in where Ineos also leave. I think they will come in with any counter offer. In fact, I think they would welcome somebody else coming in and the Glazers being interested, because it gives them the chance to take full control over Manchester United and do whatever they want. and that probably was the goal from the start, really, with them. But look, we'll see how that develops. I'll keep you posted on everything as it goes through the day. Maybe an earlier live show later on, simply because I'm at a wedding this evening as well, late afternoon. So I'll keep you updated with all of the news and updates and when the content's going to be throughout the day. Thank you, everybody, for being part of the show. Mega numbers again this morning. The thought of the Glazers leaving definitely brings a happy vibe. Happy weekend, people. What a way to go into the weekend. Get your comments in when the video is finished. Thank you, Super Chats, new members, all the new subscribers that have come in, everyone who's commented. Brilliant show this morning, everyone. Please pop a like on the video. Don't forget to hit your Match Bingo QR code as well, please, everybody. That's there, important. Green with a chance of winning £200 to £300 on each game through the international weekend as well, all leading up to the big one against Liverpool. Grab your tickets now using promo code FUTV. Boost your deposit by 100%, everybody. And that is us all done. Thank you, everyone. I will see you all later on.